Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and today I am interviewing Mason Buckles. Mason, this is our first Mortgage Coach interview. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Dave. I appreciate the time.
Good. Well, while this is our first interview, you are not new to Mortgage Coach. I mean, you've created over 1,000 total cost analysis. So obviously you believe in what we do. For folks that are listening to this interview and they don't know who you are, if you could tell us what market you're in, a little bit about your production and your practice, and then we'll get into some best practices and big ideas.
Yes, certainly. I work out of the Seattle market. I've been in lending for about 17 years now. Branch manager at Caliber Home Loans. Production-wise, last year, my team closed just under 170 units for about 67 million, and then my branch was just over 320 million for the year.
Wow. So you are killing it, doing great business. I always like to interview folks, from what are you doing with Mortgage Coach and how it's helping you be more successful, especially in today's market. The term I've been hearing a lot is the compression wars. And I've been hearing more and more that you're getting shopped more. And when you do get shopped, it's a lot tougher. So if you could just share ideas and strategies as a mortgage coach, what are you doing to either reduce the shopping, or when you are in that battle for the loan, how is Mortgage Coach helping you?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, one of the first things we try to do is take that time to really connect with our client. We try to schedule as many, in-person meetings as possible. And a big part of that presentation that we give is utilizing the Mortgage Coach tool and the analysis that we create that are specific for the client's needs and their scenarios. So, first-time home buyers, for example, we leverage the rent versus own very often. Every first-time home buyer we use, we build out a rent versus own just to show them the benefits of owning a home as a whole. And then for our more sophisticated or seasoned buyers, we use the total cost analysis to talk to them about strategies on whether it's paying points for interest rate or added down payment, et cetera, and helping them better define their break-even points when they're doing their analysis. Leveraging the technology as a whole, specifically when the buyers are out shopping. We keep them up to date by utilizing those same dedicated links that we create within the analysis and making sure that they understand where the market is. If we see market movement from a rate perspective, we update them and update their links. And then when they identify specific properties, we take more generic terms and really boil them down to the specifics of that property so that they're very informed ahead of making any offers.
So two things. One, would you mind sharing a link to a rent versus own? And let's just say a generic purchase options, total cost analysis. For everyone watching this, there'll be a link below. You're watching this on YouTube. We'll put a couple examples of this is what it looks like to get Mason's rent versus own analysis. And by the way, do you call it a total cost analysis, or what is the term you use with the family, with the buyer?
So with the family, we call it a rent versus own. And then for the buyer, whether it's a refi or a total cost analysis buyer looking at points, we call it a cost versus benefit analysis. So we try to quantify for them, look, you're going to have costs, and then these are the benefits, and this is the tool we use to demonstrate that for you. It's a great differentiator for us because most of our competitors are still just using, closing cost worksheets and PDFs that show basically the numbers, right? Here's your final cost and your payment and your rate. What we can do is actually quantify the time it takes to actually recoup those added costs and make sure that they understand that time, money over value and how long they plan on being in the home.
I would love to get your scripting because, when I do these calls, one, it's a success story, it's a testimonial, but it's also the more we can give people specific talking points. So what does it sound like when you're talking, and let's just use a first-time home buyer, since that's your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Before you give the rent versus own analysis, what are you saying to position it so that by the time the buyer gets it, they're like, oh, this is special. What does that sound like?
Definitely. I try to set the table really simply by asking them, what they're paying in rent now. What do they believe was an affordable payment for them on a housing basis. And then we set up the rent versus own by talking about using that as our opportunity to walk through the standard costs. So we have our templates built out within the Mortgage Coach tool that have our closing costs as we have as a lender. So we give them the clarity and the transparency there. But then thinking about that home as an investment as well. And my scripting is really simple. I say, look, live there, retire, and die in that home and pass it on to children. Mason, so I want you to think about this.
Mason, real quick, we had a little delay with the internet right there. So when you do that, replay that, and my scripting is this. and
Okay.
start right there. Yeah.
Okay. And my scripting is really simple. I talk to the client about thinking about this home as an investment. Most of first-time home buyers understand, or at least realize, that they're not going to be buying their dream home with that first purchase. So what we try to do is utilize that time to walk them through the cost as a whole. So showing them our lender costs and the third-party anticipated costs, but then really painting a picture of 3 to 5 years down the road, what their return on that initial investment would be. And that mortgage coach tool, just utilizing, really basic appreciation, and then thinking about rental costs with the rental market increases versus what you're going to see on the return investment for your real estate purchase, paints a really pretty picture for them, even with conservative numbers.
So, guys, I want you to see a couple things that are happening. He's connecting with them emotionally, meaning with a lot of first-time home buyers, emotional connection. They can tell that he cares. And then by delivering this rent versus own, he's connecting with them logically. They're seeing logically what happens. And then when you really start to think of the value that creates for a realtor partner, what better first-time buyer can a realtor get where they have clarity? They understand the emotional desire to own the home, and they understand logically what that's going to do to their net worth. What's that look like financially? Anything else on the borrower before we transition to realtors and how you're using Mortgage Coach with your real estate partners?
Yeah, the feedback from the buyers is consistent. They love the tool. They love being able to pull it up on their phone and look at it, in real time in a mobile optimized app versus sending them PDFs that they're trying to expand and view, on their handheld or whatnot. So I call it almost like the agility or the nimbleness of the program, being able to be out there in the mobile space and update it consistently has been invaluable for us and our clients.
So what I hope to take away for any loan officer watching this is, if you've got a first-time home buyer and you're not delivering the Mortgage Coach experience, you are risking rate shopping even more than you already are just being alive today. And your price exceptions. You're gonna have more pricing exceptions if you're not doing this. So any mortgage professional watching this interview, hopefully the takeaway is every single first-time home buyer gets that rent versus own. There will be a link down below. So let's transition into, how are you using this as part of your value proposition with agents, and how do agents respond to it?
Definitely. Yeah. Some of our key partners really over the past 10 years have become almost addicted to the Mortgage Coach app in terms of utilizing that for their clients ahead of making offers. So a lot of times we have buyers that we'll connect with that have talked to their realtor first, they're referred to us, and they've got an idea of where they want to be price-wise. They have an idea of what they think their budget is, and that's not necessarily aligned with reality. What we do is, within our presentation and building out these analysis, we'll give them a better snapshot of what a realistic price range would be for them to shop within. And then as we deliver that pre-approval, we're delivering that link to the realtor as well, and then having a follow-up call with them so that they have clarity and they're not out there wasting time showing the buyer homes that they simply either cannot afford or aren't willing to take the leap on. So it gives them an opportunity to really make sure that they're being focused within the search and more effective with their time.
Love that. Any scripting with the agents, like when you are describing a total cost analysis to an agent for the first time. I mean, obviously I love that word. They're addicted to the Mortgage Coach. And by the way, we want to get more realtors addicted to that. But what does your scripting sound like on the first meeting or as you're educating the agent around it?
Certainly. What I actually do is I bring my presentation to my realtor meeting. So usually we have an initial coffee meeting first to get an understanding of, what they're seeing, what they're dealing with other lenders, identifying the pain more than less, right? And then as we do our follow-up, either they have them in the office with us or I go meet them. But part of what I do is bring that presentation along with a printed copy of that Mortgage Coach evaluation that we create or the analysis we create. And then I'll actually pull it up on my phone at the same time. And I'll show them that link on my phone and say, look, this is what we're delivering to your clients and to you. So that as you're out there with your clients and they're looking at homes specifically, if we need to update numbers, we can do it on the fly. And you can have a buyer take action and make an offer much faster than if they had to wait for a lender to log into their computer, create a PDF, send them the worksheets. In our market specifically, we see a lot of escalation, prices going above ask. So what we'll do is we'll build out a total cost analysis showing the asking price along with 2 to 3 other escalation points. That way the buyer can see the increments they're shopping within at that specific property. So it just gives a wealth of information in as close to real time as possible.
So, folks, I hope you connected the dots. He's selling speed. He's basically showing Mortgage Coach in the context of speed to clarity, speed, sense of urgency. Let's face it, in today's market, the faster a buyer can have clarity and confidence, the more likely they are to pay the price they need to buy the house. I'm going to put 2 links down below. Jeremy Forcier, I've interviewed his 5 questions that he asks realtors and how he integrates Mortgage Coach into that, putting a link down below. It's just like a 12-minute interview, super powerful. And then also in this year's Script Palooza, I interviewed a number of top loan officers. Danny Harani did a whole script on how he uses what I think he calls it a counter offer analysis. So it's pretty much what you just described, that, hey, when we're in that counter offer process, you're able to update the total cost analysis. So check out below. We'll put a few more homework assignments down below. Yeah, and I don't know that you heard what I said, Mason, because you jumped out. Your internet got a little spotty, but overall, it's been great. We're having a great conversation. So any other advice you have, like, hey, you're a branch manager. Think of yourself and the leadership you have with the people that, you lead. When it comes to Mortgage Coach, any words of wisdom or parting words as we wrap up today's interview?
Yeah, we have a number of experienced users in our office and then people that are neophytes to Mortgage Coach. Caliber as a whole has adopted the platform as a tool that we utilize for our sales force. So a lot of my time has been spent really just trying to help people train and learn to use the tool better. You guys have a lot of great videos, so we leverage that as much as possible. Shadowing has been really important for us.
So shadowing, everybody, I hope you heard that. If you're on this call and you are a Mortgage Coach mentor, you're someone that's done hundreds of total cost analysis, help other loan officers get up to speed with this. And remember, folks, we've got this great YouTube channel. You're watching this right now as a video in our YouTube channel, and I probably also posted it on Facebook. So if you have questions, put them down below. Mason, you've been awesome. I really appreciate your leadership, both at Caliber and for the greater Mortgage Coach community. Appreciate you, and if there's anything we can do to help you, just let me know. Reach out anytime.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate your time.